been an amazing journey so far. It's bittersweet to end it, to say the least.
I never wanted this kind of responsibility.
Welcome to the big leagues.
We just tried to deliver something that we thought was good week in, week out, and do something provocative, and I think that caught a lot of people off guard.
I'm an angel of God sent here to protect you, to guide you to the end of the human race.
The funny thing was we didn't really talk about anything substantive until we went to the bar and started drinking. In fact, the show probably would have been much, much better had we ever attempted to do any of the story conceiving sober.
Yes.
To right now.
It was very important to all of us on the show to end the series in the right way.
This is everything that we have been working for.
We really wanted to sort of give resolution to a lot of things that we had set up over the years.
One of our lost siblings has arrived.
This is a journey of a bunch of people who survived an apocalyptic attack and have spent the last 4 years trying to find a home. And the last 10 episodes are basically about the culmination of that journey.
Yeah, I think the best part about it is that there have been so many rumors about what the actual ending is, but I think the people who think they know what's going to happen are going to find out that they're wrong.
God's plan is about to be revealed.
Fundamentally, at its heart, the show is still about people. I mean, there's mythology, there's backstory, there's a lot of aspects to the Galactica universe that you can delve into if you so choose. But if you were to just start watching now, I think the basics of it would come through fairly quickly.
The Guardians of the Fleet, they need to know that they can count on you.
If you don't know anything about Battlestar Galactica, there are some basics. There's some guideposts that we could give you to sort of help you along the journey.
Sure.
We have to look to the future.
Moments ago, this ship received word of a Cylon attack against our home worlds is underway.
Ultimately, the stakes of the show are about the survival of the human race. In the pilot episode, the 12 colonies of humanity were wiped out by the Cylons, their opponents, and billions upon billions of people were killed.
Cylons are a robot, basically. They were tools to be used for everything from construction to the military, to defense. They eventually rebelled against the humans. It's a very timeless science fiction archetype. Be careful what you wrought.
Update on the head count, Madam President.
At first, there were somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000 survivors. Over the course of the last 4 years, those numbers have been whittled and whittled away, down to around the 30,000 and change that we have going into the last 10. And that is essentially the entire human race as far as they know. Admiral Adama commands the Battlestar Galactica, and the show pretty much centers around his character and that of Laura Roslin, the president of the colonies. Between the two of them, there's sort of the core leadership of the survivors of humanity.
We leave this solar system and we don't look back.
And we go where?
I don't know. Another star system, another planet, somewhere where the Cylons won't find us.
The colonialists had an idea that there was a place called Earth.
Just because you and I don't know where it is doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
The only place that they could think of going that had any hope for them was to try to find this mythical place called Earth and hope that there were other human beings on it.
On the memory of those lying here before you, we shall find it, and Earth will become our new home. So say we all! So say we all!
To Galactica!
The crew aboard Galactica is essentially a family. Some of them are married, some of them are related by blood, and others have become a family over the course of the show. There's a very easily identifiable mother and father figure to the series.
Stand up there, acknowledge your fleet, and give them what they need. A hero.
William Adama is a man of deep integrity. He has a tremendous sense of honor. Adama's counterpart in many ways is Laura Roslin.
I accept the office of the president.
Laura was the Secretary of Education when the attack on the colonies originally happened, and there were 43 people in line ahead of her to become president. They were all killed in the initial attack. So the mantle of becoming president sort of fell on her shoulders.
He thinks I'm a total idiot, doesn't he?
She's the one who's ill-equipped, not cut out for it, and therefore must fail, right? So when she doesn't, she in many ways becomes a role model for us.
The interesting thing about being a president is that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone.
On a personal level, Laura and Adama have kind of become more intimately connected, and they've become a bit of a couple without ever actually having a formal moment when they decided to be linked to one another.
Yeah, he wanted to get the romantic part of it much, much earlier than I did. If left to his own devices,
they would have been in bed in season.
Yeah, they would have been in episode 4.
Oh, yeah. Saul, Ty, and Adama go way back. They are very old friends.
Just doing my job. You do your job good. That's why I need you, Saul.
We've seen the Butch and Sundance dynamic. This is like Butch and Sundance years later when they're both irreparably damaged and one of them's become an alcoholic and lost an eye.
I embarrassed you. Made you look bad. You're my oldest friend, Saul. You never embarrassed me.
It's one of the emotional cornerstones of the show to me, is that relationship.
Could you put your arm around your son? Perfect.
Lee is Adama's son. They were estranged for many, many years.
Why don't you talk to me, Lee?
What do you want to talk about?
About anything. You've been here for an hour.
Well, I don't have anything to say.
Over the course of the series, a lot of those things, if not resolved, they've at least been set aside, and there's a very tight relationship between father and son.
You know, sometimes it feels like the whole ship thinks Starbuck would do better.
I don't.
How can you be so sure?
Because you're my son.
Ready for duty, sir.
Good.
Starbuck, or Cara Thrace, is essentially Adama's surrogate daughter. I think Adama saw a lot of himself in her. She was a hot shot. She liked to mouth off to her superiors.
You have something to add?
Your plan sucks.
She broke a lot of rules, but you put her in the cockpit and she was always going to be the best one out there.
Kicking in the burn!
Lee and Kara, I think, to a lot of people represented the kids, the brother and sister at the beginning, and of course they turned out to be much more than that.
Did you say you love me?
Well,
Lee Adama loves me.
no, all I meant was...
No, seriously. Very sweet. You love me. You can't take it back. There's no take-backs.
Cara and Lee both married other people over the course of the series. Lee married a woman named Duala, and Cara married a man named Anders. But they kept being pulled back into one another's orbit.
I made a vow in the sight of the gods, and I'm not going to break that. You're breaking it every time we do this.
That became a source of friction in both of their marriages, and at the point where we're picking up now, that tension has never quite been resolved.
We're talking with Dr. Gaius Baltar.
Thank you, Kellen. And firstly, may I say how lovely you're looking.
Baltar is definitely part of the family. He's
the crazy uncle?
The crazy uncle. He's the black sheep uncle that always comes to Thanksgiving and gets drunk and hits on somebody's new girlfriend, and yet you always bring him back to the next Thanksgiving.
Because he's so funny.
Because he's so funny. I think he started out as a character who just wanted to survive and was all about himself, and is also incredibly narcissistic.
I am an instrument of God.
He's a very complex character to deal with.
You have to love yourself. If we don't love ourselves, how can we love others?
I've always thought that Baltar is the most human character of everyone on the show.
That's right.
This crew needs a rest.
It's finally hitting them, Saul. Our whole lives are gone.
I think that the core family aboard Galactica elicits a great deal of empathy from the viewer in that they're very human. You know, they're deeply flawed people, and I think that we can all identify with that because we're all flawed. And I think that the audience continues to root for them, and they want them to win because the audience wants to win.
Subtract how many?
Actually, you can add one. A baby was born this morning on the Rising Star. A boy.
Of security and public safety, I feel it is time to reveal certain information. The Cylons have the ability